Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks and welcome back to day 4 of Under the Hammer, where you get an opportunity to bid on rare and exclusive tanks. Today's tank is not new like the previous 3 days, so all of you will have a sigh of relief as we kind of relax a little bit, but not too much, because today the WZ-111 Qilin is available. This is a reskin of the WZ-111a, and it was previously available in the black market last year. The minimum price that you could get this for on the European server, I think, was about 35 million credits. Today, Wargaming are asking for a minimum bid of 17,500 gold, and I believe on the European server there are 5,500 of them available. Today, I want to become the ultimate whale, and I'm going to take my crew that I got from the 113 Beijing Opera. I'm going to put them in the regular WZ-111a, and then I'm going to use them in the Qilin. And yes, I decided that I wanted to have the Chinese female voice acting, so I actually moved my gunner to my commander and my commander to my gunner, so I could be able to have that. Now keep in mind, today I'm not going to be playing with all of the bells and whistles because my crew only has less than 3 skills completed here, but that should still give you all in all an idea of the vehicle. It's a bit weird. I'm actually going to put myself at a significant disadvantage here because I already have a Chinese heavy tank commander with 5 skills, including recon and situational awareness, which I'm going to give up because purely I thought, well, if I ended up spending 30,000 gold on a crew, I'm not going to let them rot inside my garage. So, without further ado, let's jump in with the WZ-111 Qilin. Now, full disclosure, I've already played 1 game in this tank so far today, but my recording crashed because I hadn't changed the profile on my stream deck, which I used to be able to switch all my buttons. So right in the middle of the battle, I was like, oh, I'm going to switch my scene, you know, as I do from switching from here to here. And it crashed my recording. And I might have used a few expletives that I don't think I could really have filtered off all that much. There would have been a lot of bleeping in that video. It wasn't a very eventful game anyway. So let's start afresh and have a go in the WZ-111 Qilin and see what we can do here. So what is special about this tank? Well, I'll show you in just a second after we've managed to actually reload the gun. I have to admit, this is a much more beautiful tank than the 113 Beijing Opera. I think the 113 Beijing Opera looks pretty awful. This one, it does have a lot more bells and whistles on it, and I think that black on gold effect is really cool. It also helps that I'd say this is the better of the 2 Chinese tier 10 heavies, although a lot of people are willing to die on the hill of the 113 actually being better than the WZ-111a. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without further ado, let's go full whale and play the WZ-111 Qilin with the crew from the 113 Beijing Opera. Okay, so you want to see what's special about this tank? Look at the dragon at the front. Oh, it breathes fire and its eyes glow red. How cool is that? That was totally worth me spending 50 million credits on. And that's totally going to be worth you spending 17,500 gold on, right? Yeah, not really. I don't really like this habit of wargaming, taking tier 10 tanks and just reskinning them and then releasing them for extortionate prices. In a way, I think it's okay because at least if you don't get it, you have the option of just getting it inside a tech tree, you know? Tech tree tank for 6 million credits, which is exactly the same apart from just its look. Or alternatively spending 17,500 gold on a skin that just breathes fire. I mean, you know what? It's quite hard to say what people are willing to do with their money. That WZ-55 didn't have a good time. And that's just what's so great about this tank. It has alpha damage and it has gun depression over the front. Unlike the 113 where you're constantly awkwardly trying to move the vehicle, this one doesn't have to deal with that, which is absolutely wonderful. I'm going to try and shoot maybe this Rinoceronte as he's running. So I'll try and get this M48 sweep point. I thought I hit it, but I guess I didn't. Okay, come on then. Let's get some shots in, man. I'm not here to whiff these shells. Maybe I should just fire heat at this guy's turret. I don't want to just go full gold noob. What are you talking about, QB? You're playing a Qilin with a Beijing Opera crew. I keep missing his tracks, and I'm getting wrecked by an STB-1 and a Centurion Action 10 now. And I'm using a small repair kit, so my tracks aren't going back on. This is a disaster. I thought you said you would be going full whale, QB. This is not full whale. You know, you don't have all of those pesky advantages that the whales actually have. Is that what I'm doing wrong? Bet you as soon as I fire a heat round in this tank, then it's going to go straight into the target. All right, so very uneventful fight there. Maybe I'm a little bit too chill today, to be honest with you. I'm not playing a new tank. It's not like super exciting for me. Honestly, that's how I felt with this vehicle. Did you see how many field mods that I had in this tank? You wouldn't have seen that because I actually showed it in the previous video that ended up getting destroyed as I switched my seats. This is not a good start, is it? But yeah, I don't have any field mods in my WZ-111 Qilin, which is ridiculous considering I ended up spending so much on this tank. It's actually kind of painful when I think about it, that I spent 55 million on this vehicle, and I've barely even played it, in all honesty. 55 million on this tank and I've barely even played it. I think it's because the Qilin was never really kind of my favorite, the WZ-111 I should say, was never really my favorite kind of tank. It's a good vehicle, don't get me wrong, but I just find the playstyle a little bit boring because it's so similar to so many things. You could play the 277, you could play any variety of tanks that have good alpha damage and gun depression. While I'm not saying the Rinoceronte is competitive, you could play a Rinoceronte, right? And then you've kind of got an auto-loader, the auto-reloader as well, which I still feel like is a bit more dynamic. So yeah, whenever I play this kind of a tank, I always get just a little bit bored, really. That it doesn't really have its own identity, it doesn't really have its own kind of flavor of gameplay, at least in my opinion. A lot of people will absolutely love the WZ-111 and they'll think it's absolutely fabulous. And I can understand why. I mean, it is a great tank. There's no doubt that this tank is competitive. There's no doubt the WZ-111 is competitive. I'd be lying if I said that it isn't. Exciting though when there are so many vehicles inside the game that have this with an autoloader or have this with better accuracy or better gun depression, or now that are faster or better at ramming their opponents. You know, you understand what I'm trying to suggest. Oh no, did I just lose this game with the E4? Why is the 140 not playing? Come on. 5, 4. Why are you slowing down? 3. Why are you slowing down? Oh, am I going to lose this game? Well played to the T110E4. Got me good. 140 didn't want to use their 7 degrees of gun depression. Drove like a plonker at the end. Oh well. GG. Well played. Well played to the enemy team. They deserve to win that one. Maybe I'm a little bit sleepy. Honestly, I felt like I worked pretty hard yesterday. And got up. And now I have to play the Qilin. And I don't really have that adrenaline rush. You know, the adrenaline rush of playing a new tank like I did over the last couple of days. And I definitely feel like I play better when something's new and exciting. I had so much fun playing the Object 268 version 5 yesterday. That's a real fun tank for me. New, so different, so many capabilities. This vehicle, however, honestly, whenever I look at it, I just think about wasting my life. Because 50 million credits, well, you can spend your gold on it, and there's no difference between spending gold and credits if you think you can convert your gold into credits, right? I still think that 50 million credits would have cost me at least about 30 to 50 hours of my life, or probably more like 50 to get 50 million credits, right? And then I think that I spent 50 hours of my life to be able to get a skin on a tier 10 tank. And I'm not going to lie, it's sorry to put a downer on this Monday morning or whatever, but it's kind of a little bit depressing. And I think that that's something that I have to highlight to everyone out there who's thinking, oh, quickly, an opportunity to be able to pick up a tank, I must be able to get it. It's a reskinned WZ-111 You can grind up a tech tree, be able to get the WZ-111 and then you can also use it in ranked. You can't use this one in ranked. You can't at all because it's a reward vehicle. So this thing, apart from being for the avid collector who likes to have all of the vehicles, or maybe for the world's biggest WZ-111 5A fan who wants to play the 5A, maybe suck out in the battle, and then be able to load into this one, although you're going to have a separate crew if your other 5A is stuck in the battle, and play this one instead, is going to, I guess, maybe enjoy this tank. Or people who just like to, rah, breathe fire, you know. Great, that was a good idea for me to fire there, when I probably could have had the shot ready to be able to jam into this Basante, right? Hey. Alright, okay, look. I'll fully admit, that last game was disappointing for me. No excuses now. We have woken up. We are ready to slam our shells and get penned by a heat round. Killed my dragon! No! Knocked out my radio as well. Look, I can't communicate with any of my team. Okay. Why can't I see that medium tank? Did you see that? That was bizarre. I guess it was because of the radio bug there. Not because of a bug, because he hit my radio. Alright, so in this kind of a situation, all I really need to do is just try and win the mid-ridge and just try and get shooting these things from up there. But I also don't want to get hit in the side. As you get to see there, the WZ doesn't have the best side turret armor, so I have to be careful. But that's really where this tank is special. This tank is special because it does have that wonderful... wow, apparently everybody's firing gold. Even the tier 8 tech tree tanks are firing gold, and the tier 9 ones as well. Is that just the World of Tanks norm now? I mean, I'm questioning that while I'm playing the ultimate whale tank. So, you know, oh, why'd you have to drive forwards? You didn't have to drive forwards there. You know what I'll do? I'll fix his problem. I'll shoot this building out, and then he can actually fall back. He didn't need to go forwards there. Kind of blocked my shot a little bit, but that's okay. Whee! A fire as well. We got the guy who fired gold at us. But you know what? I would fire gold at myself as well, you know? You got to shoot that whale with those premium harpoons. Oh, premium harpoons, dude. As I said, I've made the ultimate whale tank here, you know? Beijing Opera crew inside the WZ-111 It's not exactly what you're meant to do in World of Tanks. Oi! Intuition! It wouldn't be a QB YouTube video unless we talked about it. I switched out to my heat round there, and I slapped. Can you imagine how all the gold noobs feel these days? They're probably like gatekeeping it. This is unfair. I'll only load gold ammunition so I can have the gold ammunition when I need to use it. And this QB is using intuition to actually save credits. This is outrageous. You know? I love it, man. On my free-to-play account, I'm firing more gold than I used to, but I'm doing it tactically. That sounds weird, you know? What, you're firing more gold rounds on your free-to-play account? Sure I am. Because previously, I just wouldn't have fired and I would have waited for an opportunity which quite often wouldn't have come with the standard ammunition to be able to fire. But now I can just hot switch out to a gold round and I know that I'm going to pen it at least the majority of the times. And as long as you pen gold rounds, then it's not really the end of the day. You're not losing a lot of credits. Where you lose a lot of credits is when you start only firing gold, when you could have fired regular rounds, or alternatively when you start bouncing gold. So I'm talking about the kind of situation where I was in there, where if I fired AP, I'm pretty much bouncing at about 80% of the time against the E75, whereas if I fire the gold round, I'm penning him probably about 75% of the time. Alright, Mr. Borask, catch that one. And what you're seeing here is that the Qilin is just, and the WZ-111 as well, it's just pretty good for dumping out these kind of rounds at decent distances. It's just a pretty good tank. And it's also got gun depression over the front, as I mentioned in the previous replay. It was very uneventful, and frankly, I played very bad. Alright, that's really the highlights of the tank. Alpha damage, a little bit of speed. It's kind of an all-round tank. But you know what I'll say about the WZ-111a? When it first went into the game, it was the meta. It was the meta vehicle. Now, I think about the WZ-55 and so on and so forth, and I honestly think that the WZ-55 is pretty much like a Qilin with one extra degree of gun depression and an autoloader. But one thing I will hasten to add is that the WZ-55, unless you're using the single shotgun, actually has quite bad DPM compared to this tank. But there's a big difference between having to reload between 8.82 seconds per shot and being able to reload 2 shells in 20 seconds and then being able to deliver them in 2 seconds. Alright, is this one of the slowest games of World of Tanks that you've ever seen? These kind of games always try to test my commentary, right? But you know what, after the previous game where I felt like I played like a complete buffoon, I'm not really regretting having the opportunity to have a long-winded game where maybe we're possibly going to be able to play out in. Alright, so we've softened up those medium tanks. Nobody wants to put pressure on the encounter cap. Unfortunately, because I'm using my roleplay crew to roleplay the ultimate whale, I'm actually in a situation where I don't have situational awareness. and I don't have recon, which means that I'm unable to spot my opponents effectively, which undoubtedly really sucks. It really sucks. There's no doubt it really sucks right now that I don't have intuition. And I do have intuition, sorry, I definitely have that. Always make sure I have that. But I don't have recon and I don't have situational awareness. And that really sucks because spotting out right now is very tricky. Of course, if I had all of the field mods and I had situational awareness and recon, I'd probably be packing about 470 meters view range with a premium consumable, even with regular equipment. I thought I hit that one, but I guess I didn't. My bad. Udez is now charging the Charfu Tier 4. If I was the Charfu Tier 4, I'm not going to lie, I would be angry. I would be angry that my team just let a Udez into the dip to carve me up. Well... Oh, I aimed that one well as well. It's just pretty unfortunate in this situation. Luckily, my team dealt with it. The Char just had to bail out on 100 hit points, which is completely the right thing to do. And the Udez has actually taken the hill now. I wonder where the FE405 is. That's not the kind of tank that you want to ask, where an FE405 is. Could be at the back there. Could be at the back over there. I've got 1,400 hit points left, which is pretty good. But I'd also like to highlight this isn't the most durable of tanks. Definitely isn't the most durable of tanks with that regards. And now I'm way down on my hit points. Well played to the CS63, just doing like the heavy tank role. The IS-7 hasn't even been spotted yet. Somebody's starting to apply some cap pressure though. So probably the IS-7. Well, there could be anything. They've still got like 5 or 6 tanks that haven't been spotted, or we know that the SUs are likely going to be on the other side. I'm going to load heat here because it will definitely help me against the CS63. We just found out it's a Leopard that's in the cap circle. There's that CS63. I'm going to switch out to AP and see if I can go for this Charioteer instead. When's he going to move? There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking, son. Now we're talking. But unfortunately, I've lost so many of my hit points. It's going to be quite tricky to be able to carry this one. All right. Test your snipe. No. No! Blooming CS63. He interrupted my test your snipe. Bum, 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 bum. Come on. Come on, CS63. The Udes aiming down on me from above like some rich Swedish king. I'll get you, Udes. Don't worry. This isn't over. That's CS63. He keeps on popping up into this location. There he is. There he is, there he is, there he is, there he is, there he is. So very slow game here on Prokhorovka. My TNH WZ-115 I think has had enough. And he's just going to go and sacrifice his entire tank. I'm sorry, that's a pretty awful play. And you just rewarded that CS63 with the easiest kill I think I've ever seen. Maybe I can reward the CS63 with one more shot. Gosh, this is a dull game on the Prokhorovka. If I had my second set of equipment, I could be able to switch out and I could be able to use view range. I honestly would have probably dropped my vertical stabilizers and used coated optics on this tank. But as I said, I don't have any of the field mods. So you're not seeing the Qilin in its final form today. You're seeing the Qilin in kind of like this half form. I mean, I guess I'm getting lucky that he's not penning me. But it's just not enough. It's not enough for me, right? Have we only got one tank left up on the hill? Oh my goodness, that's not good. And they're about to take the cap circle. So I feel like I have to start to make some pressure plays. This is where you need Arty, right? This is where you need Arty. I can switch out to an HE shell. Well, I interrupted him, and that's just great. This was... Looks like he doesn't have the cap, and none of my team are just doing anything right now, is the term I guess I want to say. What can I do? Shoot this guy and then shoot another guy? I should be able to reload in time. I'm going to pretend like I'm going for him, and then I'm going to look for the IS-7 again. It's got to be the Leopard. I've got to get the Leopard. This guy's going to kill me if I do. What can you do? Oh, sorry for the resident sleeper game, YouTube. Yeah, I just don't feel like I had the view range. Maybe I could have hit 1 or 2 more shots, but honestly, I don't know. I really don't know what I could have done. I felt like I had to be the sniper in the mid. I've got a full health VK sitting behind me who didn't get into the game. My TNH WZ-115 decided to just rush into a CS63 halfway through the game and die. Ugh, what are you going to do? Yeah, well, at least I finished number 1 on damage. Well played to the CS63. A really good player playing just a decent snipey tank in that situation. Probably with better view range than me. And well played to this UDES-16 as well. Got up on the hill and just crushed it. So well done, dude. I've just got so many zeros sitting at the back that just didn't really even do anything. Well, GG, well played. Definitely a field mod problem here. I need to have some of these field mods to have the extra view range. I need to not roleplay with my Beijing opera crew. Are we finding here that kind of Wales actually finish last in World of Tanks? Oh man, what is up with this matchmaking today, dudes? Look at this. Now we've got to play against 3 artillery. Okay, whatever. And we're playing against a chieftain as well. I know that chieftain's going to fight into the dip. Alright, how can I win this? Well, like hell am I going to go and go to the west. Okay, I've got to try and get the team. Hey, team. We need to win the dip. Rush. Rush the dip with me. Alright, I'm just going. I'm shipping it. I'm shipping it. I'm shipping it, boys and girls. I'm probably going to go and find a chieftain and die. But you know what? I don't even really have anything to lose in this kind of a game. So I'm sitting in a game... I'm sitting in a game where there's 3 arty and a chieftain. If I don't go into the dip, the chieftain will go into the dip and he will win the game. If the enemies get here or here, we've lost. I can't sit above the dip here because I'm just going to get dumped on by arty constantly. That EBR is probably going to spot me, isn't he? No, he's not. Alright, I'm just going to go straight in. I'm going to go straight into the dip, and I'm going to hope that the STRV and friends actually help me out here. The Qilin and the WZ-111 Qilin is decent enough with regards to its speed. But I bet you the Chieftain and the WZ-55 and friends and the M60 are all going to be in there. This is looking like almost suicide, what I'm doing right now, with just moving forwards here. It's going to be a little bit awkward, but oh well. Maybe I can use this dip that I managed to get my 3rd Mark of Excellence on my M48 with. Alright, wow, he actually backed off. We just need to basically hold here. Hold here and use SPG, bro. We just need to basically wait for our SPGs to start to club these players. Like, we can use up here, bro. Come on, SDB, don't... There's one thing I should mention about this tank, however, is that it has 340 millimeters of gold pen. It's definitely one of the better things about the 5A, is that the 5A was one of the few new tanks where Wargaming actually gave it really good gold pen. Alright. So, it definitely has that going for it. Is that a chieftain with 2,500 hit points? That's actually pretty savage. If my artillery don't start shooting the chieftain, we're going to get absolutely wrecked. Talk about absolutely wrecked. Oh, bad luck. I told you to fall back, Mr. SDB1. We need to just use arty right now. That's all we need to do is use arty. Out-trading him. We just need to basically hold this chieftain up there. Nice shot, dude. That was a good one. Just gonna bait that chieftain and try and get arty to shoot him. Honestly, that's the plan right now. Come on, arty. Oh, God. Oh, come on! My RNG is disgusting! This guy could track me now. Nice. Why is my arty not just jamming this chieftain, dude? There we go. Now we're talking. How's he not double stunned? He's still got his medkit left. Well, I'm really happy with my decision making in this game so far. I'm going to say thank you to this SDB1. Nice! Look at this. Me and the SDB1 are brothers, and we're actually fighting back superior tanks right now. And now the arty is starting to dominate this chieftain. He actually got him. Did he just pen him with an AP shell? Oh my lord. That's actually really good. Nice. Oh, I'm really happy with the way that this one's gone so far. We came up with a tactic, and it seems to be working out for us so far. Do I really need heat for this guy? I have gone full whale this game, But you know what? When I see a chieftain and I'm playing against 3 arty, I'm going to go full whale. Alright, this is an interesting fight. It's a WZ-55 versus a WZ-111 and I'm kind of like the old school and he's like the new school. But here's the thing. While he's the new school, I don't have to actually reload, right? And he does. Oh, I don't quite have the gun depression there. I've got to watch out. Nice, he missed. He's reloading now, or has he got the single shotgun? He's got the smoothbore, which means that he's got the autoloader, so I can push him. Come on, STB1, I trust you. I trust you. Yes! Okay. Good game. I'll say well played. Well played, STB1. We beat them. Nice tactics. Nice tactics, boys and girls. We got there. Maybe I can get one more shot in. A little bit of a freebie at the end of the game. A little bit of a freebie at the end of the game. A little bit of a freebie at the end of the game. No? A little free kill? 4,000 damage, no kills? Well played on left flank. Oh my goodness, the artillery says well played on left flank. Thanks for support, SPG. You saved us. You saved us. It gets sent into the server. At least the server knows that I'm actually saying thank you for self-propelled guns. So, GG. Yeah, happy with the way that the vehicle worked there. And you got to see why the WZ-111 is a decent enough tank. It's fast, it's got gun depression, it's got some alpha damage. It's a good vehicle. Just a shame that I haven't really invested my time into this tank. Was the Chieftain any good? 55% win rate player, man. Get wrecked, son. That was good stuff. Was the VZ any good? Oh, no, the VZ wasn't good. Thank goodness they took their time in managing to attack us. All right, well, I think that was like my first win of the day, which is a little bit depressing, I'm not going to lie. But at least, ladies and gentlemen, I get my first field mod, so I can use 2 sets of consumables. Oh, dear. All right, so that was 3 games in the WZ-111 Qilin. Definitely not my best session ever. But at least we didn't let it break us, and we dug deep to be able to dominate what was looking like one of the more tricky situations. So all in all, the WZ-111 Qilin, I can't see it because Wargaming doesn't like you to play the game in 4K, and you actually have to load the store twice. What do I think? Well, it is a WZ-111 You can get it inside a tech tree for 6 million credits. Which I actually ended up paying 9 times more to be able to get just one that breathes fire. And to be fair, it can actually make some good crew training. And that's something that I didn't mention about the Beijing Opera, is that if you are a die-hard WZ-111 fan, then you could get this, and frankly, you're just going to be making extra crew training, which is very nice. So there's no point of playing the WZ-111 if you get this tank. Although, let's be honest, spending 18,000 gold, or probably more like about 20 or 25, which I think that this tank will actually go for, if not more, just to be able to get some extra crew training and to be able to breathe fire out of your barrel. Is that worth it? Probably not. I think there are a lot better things that you could be spending your gold on World of Tanks. Nevertheless, this thing will stay as a rarity inside the game, and so if any of you have lots of gold left over, and you want to spend it on something fairly special, then this one might be for you. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments what you think the final tank is going to be. Do you think it's going to be a Type 59 Gold, or do you think possibly it could be something else that is a little more special? In theory, I thought there were going to be 2 Tier 8 tanks and 3 Tier 10 tanks. And we've had our 3 Tier 10 tanks. So are we going to get a Tier 8 tomorrow? Maybe it'll be the Type 59 Gold. We'll have to wait and see. I hope there's going to be something a little bit more special. Either way, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get the notification tomorrow as to what tank it's going to be, and I can let you know whether I think it's worth it or not. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Well, not everyone, but quite a lot of people managed to get them in the black market. So I believe on the European 5,000